A boy battling cancer, his spirit worn down by endless treatments, finds an unexpected lifeline, a horse with a past as broken as his own. Together, they embark on a journey of healing and hope that defies all odds. But what this horse does for the boy is something no one could have imagined. A story of courage, love, and miracles awaits. Stay with us, because what happens next will leave you speechless. The small hospital room was filled with the steady hum of machines and the faint smell of antiseptic. 8-year-old Noah sat on the edge of his bed, his pale face framed by a nightcap that hid the hair he'd lost to chemotherapy. His once bright blue eyes were dulled by exhaustion, and his body was frail. For months, treatments had left Noah rarely smiling, and his mother, Emily, watched him from the corner of the room with a heavy heart. The doctors had told her that Noah's condition was improving, but his spirit was fading. He needs more than medicine, Dr. Carter had said gently during their last appointment. He needs something to bring him joy, to remind him of the world outside these walls. Emily had heard about the equine therapy program from a friend, a place where children, like Noah, could connect with horses in a calm and healing environment. At first, she was hesitant. Noah had always been shy around animals, and she worried the experience might overwhelm him. But desperation pushed her to try anything that might reignite a spark in her son. A week later, Emily drove them to the ranch. The air was crisp, carrying the earthy scent of hay and horses. As they stepped out of the car, Noah clutched her hand tightly, his small fingers trembling. He was nervous, but there was also a glimmer of curiosity in his eyes. They were greeted by Clara, the program's coordinator, a kind woman with weathered hands and a warm smile. "Welcome to Sunrise Ranch," she said, kneeling to Noah's level. "We have someone very special waiting to meet you." Noah didn't respond, but he followed Clara as she led them to a large paddock. Inside stood a horse unlike any Noah had seen before. He was a majestic black gelding with a white blaze streaking down his face, but his eyes told a story of their own, deep and knowing, as if he carried the weight of countless untold tales. "This is Midnight," Clara said, her voice soft. "He's been through a lot, just like you." Noah hesitated, gripping the fence tightly as he stared at the horse. Midnight turned his head toward the boy, his ears flicking forward as he took a slow step closer. There was something calming about the horse's movements, something that seemed to break through the fog of Noah's fear. Clara handed Noah a small brush. "Would you like to groom him? It's one of his favorite things." Noah looked at his mother, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. Emily nodded encouragingly. "It's okay, sweetheart. I'm right here." With trembling hands, Noah reached out and touched Midnight's coat. The horse stood perfectly still, his massive frame radiating warmth as Noah began to brush him. His movements grew steadier, his breathing slowing with each stroke. Midnight let out a soft huff, his head lowering as if to say, "You're safe here." That afternoon marked the first time in months that Noah didn't ask to go home early. Instead, he lingered by the paddock, watching Midnight with quiet fascination. As they drove back to the hospital, Emily noticed something she hadn't seen in a long time, a faint smile tugging at the corners of Noah's lips. "Did you like him?" Emily asked gently. Noah nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. "He's different." That night, Noah dreamed of Midnight, the horse's calm eyes filling him with a sense of hope he hadn't felt in months. Little did he know their connection was only beginning, and what Midnight would do for him in the coming weeks would change both of their lives forever. The morning air was crisp as Emily pulled into the gravel driveway of Sunrise Ranch. Noah sat in the passenger seat, holding the knitcap tightly in his small hands. He wasn't talking much, but Emily had noticed subtle changes in him since their first visit. He had eaten a little more, spoken a little louder, and even asked if they could come back. It was the best hope she had felt in months. Clara greeted them at the barn with her ever-present warm smile. "Good to see you again, Noah," she said, crouching to meet his gaze. "I think Midnight's been waiting for you." Noah glanced toward the paddock where the black horse stood, his white blaze gleaming in the morning light. Midnight's ears perked as if he recognized the boy, and Noah's lips curved into a shy smile. As Clara led Noah and Emily into the paddock, she handed the boy a bucket filled with carrots and apples. "Today, you're going to feed Midnight." She explained. It's one of the best ways to build trust. Noah hesitated, gripping the bucket tightly. Midnight stepped closer, his massive frame towering over the boy but radiating a gentle energy. Clara knelt beside Noah. Hold out your hand like this, she demonstrated, placing a carrot in her palm and extending it toward Midnight. The horse gently took the treat, his lips brushing against her hand. Noah mimicked her movements, his small hand trembling as he held out a piece of apple. Midnight lowered his head and nibbled it softly, his velvety muzzle brushing Noah's fingers. The boy let out a soft giggle, a sound Emily hadn't heard in months. He likes you, Clara said. Beaming, Noah nodded, his confidence growing. He's really big, he said quietly, and really kind. Clara replied, just like you. Over the next few visits, Noah's bond with Midnight deepened. He began brushing the horse with steady hands, leading him around the paddock with a confidence that surprised even himself. Midnight followed Noah's every move, his calm demeanor offering the boy a sense of safety and control that had been missing from his life. One afternoon, as Clara showed Noah how to guide Midnight with gentle tugs on the lead rope, she said, "You know, Midnight wasn't always this calm. He used to be really scared of people." Noah looked up at her, his eyes wide with curiosity. Why? Clara hesitated, her voice softening. He had a hard life before he came here, but with time and patience, he learned to trust again. Noah's gaze returned to Midnight. "I think he's really brave," he said. Clara smiled. "He is. And so are you." As the weeks passed, Emily watched her son transform. Noah's energy slowly returned, and his laughter echoed through the barn as he worked. With Midnight, the boy who had once been consumed by fear and exhaustion now spent hours at the ranch, his bond with the horse growing stronger with each visit. One day, Clara suggested something that took Emily by surprise. "Noah," she said, "how would you feel about riding Midnight?" Noah froze, his eyes darting between Clara and the horse. "I don't know," he said, his voice trembling. "You don't have to decide now," Clara said gently. "But if you ever want to try, we'll be here." That night, Noah couldn't stop thinking about Midnight. He pictured the horse's calm eyes, his steady gait, and the way he seemed to understand everything without a single word. For the first time in months, Noah felt a flicker of excitement about what the future might hold. As Noah prepared for his next visit to the ranch, he made a decision that surprised even himself. Would he take the leap and ride Midnight? Or would his fears hold him back? Either way, what happened next would bring them closer than ever before. The barn was alive, with the gentle sounds of horses shuffling in their stalls, and the occasional whinny carried on the crisp morning air. Noah stood near the paddock gate, clutching the wooden post as he watched Midnight graze. The black gelding looked serene under the soft sunlight, his tail flicking lazily as if he had not a care in the world. Clara approached with a saddle in hand, her smile reassuring. "Noah," she said, kneeling to his level, "I know the idea of riding Midnight feels scary, but he's here for you. You don't have to decide today, but I think he's ready whenever you are." Noah glanced at Midnight, his small fingers gripping the fence tighter. He hesitated, then finally nodded. "I want to try," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Emily, standing nearby, felt her heart skip a beat. She hadn't seen Noah take a step like this in months, pushing past his fears instead of retreating into them. Clara gave him a warm pat on the shoulder. "All right," she said, her voice steady. "Let's do this together." Midnight stood still as Clara prepared him, placing the saddle and bridle with gentle precision. Noah watched closely, his hands fidgeting nervously. When it was time, Clara guided Midnight to the mounting block. She turned to Noah, her eyes kind. "Come on up, buddy. I'll hold him steady." Noah climbed the steps slowly, his breath shallow as he placed his small hands on the saddle horn. Clara held out a hand, helping him swing his leg over as he settled into the saddle. Midnight didn't move a muscle, his calm presence a silent reassurance. "You're doing great," Clara said. "Just sit up tall and hold on to the reins gently." Noah gripped the reins, his heart pounding in his chest. Midnight's ears flicked back toward him as if to check on his rider, and for the first time, Noah felt a sense of connection that went beyond words. Clara led Midnight in slow circles around the paddock, her hand on the lead rope. "See? He's taking care of you," she said. Noah's breathing slowed, and his grip on the reins loosened. A small smile crept onto his face as he looked down at Midnight. "He's really soft," he said, his voice steady for the first time. Emily watched from the fence, tears welling in her eyes. The sight of Noah sitting tall and smiling on Midnight's back was a moment she thought she might never see. It was as if the horse had given her son a piece of himself, a quiet strength that Noah could carry with him. After a few laps, Clara stopped at Midnight and looked up at Noah. "Do you want to try guiding him?" she asked. Noah's eyes widened. "Me?" Clara nodded. "He trusts you, Noah. Just hold the reins gently and give him a little squeeze with your heels." Noah took a deep breath and did as she instructed. Midnight stepped forward, his movements slow and deliberate. The boy's face lit up with a mix of surprise and joy. "I'm doing it," he said, laughing. "You are," Clara said, beaming. "You're amazing." By the time Noah dismounted, he was beaming. He threw his arms around Midnight's neck, burying his face in the horse's mane. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice filled with emotion. Midnight responded with a soft nicker, lowering his head as if to hug the boy back. As they drove home that evening, Noah turned to Emily. "Do you think Midnight knows I'm sick?" he asked. Emily's throat tightened. "I think he knows you're strong," she said, "and I think he's here to help you remember that." Noah's newfound confidence inspired him to dream bigger. When Clara suggested a special activity involving Midnight, Noah didn't hesitate to say yes. But the challenge ahead would test both boy and horse in ways they never expected. The barn buzzed with activity as the Sunrise Ranch staff prepared for their annual open day, a community event showcasing the therapeutic power of horses. Clara had approached Emily the previous week with an idea that took her by surprise. She wanted Noah and Midnight to participate in the event. "It doesn't have to be anything big," Clara had reassured her. "Just a simple demonstration of what they've learned together. It could inspire so many people." Emily hesitated. "Noah is still so fragile," she said, worry flickering across her face. Clara smiled gently. "He's stronger than he looks. Midnight brings that out in him." When Emily presented the idea to Noah, he surprised her with his immediate response. "I want to do it." The week leading up to the event was filled with preparation. Noah spent hours at the ranch practicing with Midnight. Under Clara's guidance, they worked on simple maneuvers, walking, turning, and stopping on command. Midnight followed Noah's cues with unwavering patience, their bond deepening with each session. One afternoon, as Noah brushed Midnight's coat after practice, he turned to Clara. "Do you think I can do it?" he asked. Clara knelt beside him, her hand resting on his shoulder. "I know you can," she said. "Midnight believes in you, and so do I." Noah smiled, his confidence growing. "I want to show everyone how amazing he is." On the day of the event, the ranch bustled with visitors. Families wandered between paddocks, watching demonstrations and meeting the therapy horses. Noah stood with Emily near the main arena, his heart pounding in his chest. Midnight was saddled and ready, his black coat gleaming in the sunlight. "You're going to be great," Emily said. Squeezing his hand, Clara approached, her smile as reassuring as ever. "Ready, Noah?" He nodded, his nerves settling as he looked at Midnight. The horse's calm demeanor reminded him of everything they had overcome together. As the announcer introduced Noah and Midnight, a hush fell over the crowd. Clara led Midnight into the arena with Noah sitting tall in the saddle. The boy took a deep breath, gripping the reins as he guided the horse forward. "Midnight and Noah have been working together for weeks." Clara's voice echoed over the speakers. "They're a testament to the healing power of trust and connection." The crowd watched in awe as Noah led Midnight through their routine, each movement deliberate and smooth, the horse responding to Noah's cues as if they shared a silent language. When they reached the center of the arena, Noah raised a hand, signaling Midnight to stop. The horse obeyed instantly, standing still as Noah leaned forward to pat his neck. The crowd erupted into applause, their cheers echoing across the ranch. Noah beamed, his cheeks flushed with pride. For the first time in months, he felt like He wasn't just surviving, he was living. As Noah and Midnight exited the arena, a young girl approached, her head wrapped in a brightly colored scarf. She looked up at Noah with wide eyes. "You were amazing," she said shyly. Noah smiled, his voice steady as he replied, "It's all because of Midnight." Emily watched the exchange, tears welling in her eyes. Her son, once so withdrawn and fragile, was now a source of inspiration to others. Midnight had done more than give Noah strength. He had helped him rediscover his light. As the event came to a close, Clara approached Noah and Emily with an idea for their next challenge, a trail ride through the ranch's scenic hills. But the journey would test Noah and Midnight in ways they couldn't anticipate, pushing their bond to its limits. The day after the event, Clara approached Noah and Emily with an idea that both excited and worried them. "We've been planning a trail ride through the ranch's hills," Clara explained. "It's a beautiful route, and it would be a great way for Noah and Midnight to grow even closer." Emily hesitated. "Is it safe?" she asked, her voice tinged with concern. Noah, listening intently, turned to his mother with determination in his eyes. "I want to do it," he said. "Midnight, and I can do this." The morning of the trail ride was cool and clear, the sky painted in shades of pink and gold as the sun began to rise. Clara had prepared Midnight with extra care, ensuring his saddle and reins were perfectly adjusted. Noah stood beside the horse, stroking his neck as he whispered words of encouragement. "Are you ready, buddy?" Clara asked, her tone light. Noah nodded, his nerves tempered by the calming presence of Midnight. "We're ready," he said firmly. The trail started with a gentle incline, winding through open meadows and under canopies of towering trees. Clara rode alongside Noah on her own horse, offering guidance and reassurance as they navigated the path. Midnight moved steadily, his ears flicking back occasionally as if listening to Noah's quiet voice. As they climbed higher, the trail grew narrower, and the terrain became more uneven. Noah gripped the reins tightly, his heart pounding as Midnight carefully navigated the rocky path. "You've got this," he whispered, his words as much for himself as for the horse. Clara glanced back, her voice steady. "You're doing great, Noah. Just trust Midnight. He knows the way." About halfway through the ride, they reached a clearing that overlooked the valley below. The view was breathtaking, rolling hills bathed in sunlight and dotted with grazing horses. Noah's breath caught in his throat as he took it all in. "It's beautiful," he said, his voice filled with awe. Clara smiled. "This is why we do it, to remind ourselves of the beauty in the world." Noah turned to Midnight, patting his neck. "Thanks for bringing me here," he said softly. The horse responded with a gentle nicker, his head lowering as if to acknowledge the boy's gratitude. The ride back down proved more challenging. A sudden rustle in the bushes startled Midnight, causing him to sidestep nervously. Noah's heart raced, but he remembered Clara's advice. "Stay calm, trust your partner." He tightened his grip on the reins, speaking softly to Midnight. "It's okay. I'm here." Midnight stilled, his ears flicking toward Noah's voice. The boy let out a shaky breath as the horse resumed his steady pace. Clara watched from behind, her heart swelling with pride. "You handled that like a pro," she said. Noah smiled, his confidence growing with each step they took. By the time they returned to the ranch, the sun was high in the sky, casting warm light over the paddocks. Emily rushed to meet them, her face a mix of worry and relief. "How was it?" she asked, her eyes scanning Noah for any signs of distress. Noah beamed, sliding off Midnight with Clara's help. "It was amazing," he said. "I was scared, but Midnight and I did it together." Emily pulled him into a tight hug, her tears flowing freely. "I'm so proud of you," she whispered. As Noah's bond with Midnight deepened, Clara revealed that the ranch was planning a special project to highlight the healing power of equine therapy. But when Noah learned what it was, he faced a decision that could shape his journey with Midnight forever. A few weeks after the trail ride, Clara called Emily and Noah into the barn office, her excitement palpable as she laid out her plans. "We're launching a new program at the ranch," she began. "It's called Healing Hooves. The goal is to show how horses like Midnight help people heal both physically and emotionally." And we want Noah and Midnight to be a part of it. Noah's eyes widened. What would we do? He asked, his voice tinged with both curiosity and nervousness. Clara leaned forward, her smile warm. You and Midnight would lead small demonstrations, just like at the open day. You'd share your story with others, showing them what's possible when trust and connection come together. Emily hesitated, her protective instincts flaring. It's a wonderful idea, she said carefully. But are you sure Noah is ready for something like this? Clara looked at Noah, her eyes kind. That's up to him. What do you think, Noah? Noah glanced at Midnight, who stood quietly in his stall, his dark eyes full of calm reassurance. He took a deep breath and nodded. I want to do it. Midnight helped me. Maybe we can help other people, too. The weeks leading up to the launch of Healing Hooves were filled with preparation. Noah and Midnight practiced their routine daily, growing more in sync with each session. Clara coached Noah on how to share his story, helping him find the right words to describe his journey with Midnight. On the day of the launch, the ranch buzzed with activity. Families, veterans, and children filled the paddocks, their laughter and chatter creating a lively atmosphere. A small stage had been set up in the main arena, decorated with banners that read Healing Hooves, stories of connection and hope. Noah stood backstage with Emily, his hands gripping the reins tightly. Midnight nudged him gently as if sensing his nerves. You've got this, Emily whispered, brushing a hand over his shoulder. Just be yourself. When it was their turn, Clara introduced them to the crowd. This is Noah and Midnight, she said. Their story is one of resilience, trust, and the incredible healing power of horses. Noah guided Midnight onto the stage, his small frame dwarfed by the horse's towering presence. Taking a deep breath, he began to speak. A year ago, I didn't think I could do anything, he said, his voice steady. I was scared and tired all the time. But then I met Midnight. He didn't care that I was sick or that I was scared. He just believed in me. And now, because of him, I believe in myself too. The crowd listened intently, many wiping tears from their eyes as Noah shared how Midnight had changed his life. When he finished, the audience erupted into applause, their cheers echoing through the arena. After the event, families approached Noah and Midnight, their faces filled with gratitude. A mother holding the hand of a young girl with a shaved head knelt beside Noah. Thank you, she said, her voice trembling. My daughter needed to hear this. Noah smiled, patting Midnight's neck. Midnight helped me. He can help her, too. Emily watched from the sidelines, her heart swelling with pride. For the first time, in what felt like forever, she saw her son not as a boy fighting a battle, but as a boy who had found his strength. That evening, as the sun set over the ranch, Noah sat in the paddock with Midnight, watching the sky turn shades of gold and pink. He leaned against the horse, his voice soft. We did it, Midnight. We really did it. Midnight nickered quietly, his head lowering to nuzzle Noah's shoulder. At that moment, it was as if the horse understood every word, their bond stronger than ever. Noah and Midnight became the heart of Healing Hooves, their story inspiring countless others to find hope in the most unexpected places. Together, they proved that healing isn't just about curing the body, it's about mending the spirit. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that miracles can happen when we least expect them.